If you're thinking about moving to Hampton Roads, Virginia, there are a few things you need to know before you make that decision. Because I've seen people move here expecting one thing and experience something completely different. While some people move here and absolutely love it, there are others that move here and realize they've picked the wrong city, underestimated the tunnels, misunderstood the lifestyle, or listened to somebody online who honestly had no idea what they were talking about. And the truth is, there is a ton of misinformation out there about Hampton Roads. People think it's outrageously expensive, nothing but military bases, impossible to commute in, lacking opportunity, or basically just one giant city where every area feels the same. And honestly, most of that is just flat out wrong. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest myths I hear from people relocating to Hampton Roads, and I'm going to give you the real story from somebody who works in this market every single day. Hi, I'm Carrie Tanner, realtor with Coastal Realty. I help buyers, sellers, veterans, and relocation clients navigate this area all the time. By the end of this video, you're going to have a much clearer picture of what living in Hampton Roads is actually like. The good, the bad, and the things that nobody really tells you until after they move here. So let's get into it. All right, let's start with probably the biggest misconception I hear from out-of-state buyers. Virginia is expensive, so Hampton Roads must be expensive too. And listen, I understand why people think that. A lot of people hear Virginia and immediately think about Northern Virginia, Arlington, Alexandria, DC suburbs, and yes, those markets are expensive. But Hampton Roads is a completely different world financially. The reality is a lot of people relocating here are actually shocked by how much more affordable this area is than they expected. I've literally had buyers from Northern Virginia stop me during showings because they thought the listing price was missing a digit. Especially if you're coming from DC, New York, Jersey, Boston, parts of Florida, or even Raleigh and Charlotte in some cases. Your money tends to stretch a lot further here. Now, does that mean everything is cheap? No, you still have waterfront communities, luxury areas, and premium neighborhoods where prices climb quickly. But overall, Hampton Roads remains one of the more affordable coastal metro areas on the East Coast. And that matters because you're not just buying a house here. You're buying proximity to the water, beach access, history, outdoor lifestyle, a strong military economy, and a region with a lot more variety than people expect. And for military buyers using VA financing, this area can be especially attractive because there are still opportunities here that are getting harder and harder to find in other coastal markets. One thing I always tell my relocation clients is this: Hampton Roads gives you options. You can get more urban, more suburban, closer to the beach, more space inland, historic, new construction, waterfront, golf communities, a rural free feel, and a walkable feel. There's a lot of flexibility depending on your goals and your budget. So myth number 1, definitely busted. Now, myth number 2, there's nothing to do here. It's just a military town. Okay, this is one always tells me somebody has never actually spent time here. Yes, Hampton Roads has a massive military presence. That part is true. Naval Station Norfolk is the largest naval base in the world, and the military absolutely shapes this region in a lot of ways. But the idea that there is only military is not even close. What surprises most people after they move here is how much lifestyle variety there actually is. You've got beach life, you've got boating culture, you've got fishing, golf, festivals, breweries, historic areas, nature trails, art districts, food scenes, college sports, and live music. And depending on where you live in Hampton Roads, the lifestyle can feel completely different. Some parts feel coastal and energetic, some parts feel quiet and suburban. Some feel historic and walkable, and some feel almost rural with tons of land and open space. That's one of the biggest things people misunderstand about this region. Now, personally, one of the things I think people end up loving most here is the balance. You can go spend the morning at the beach, have dinner downtown, and still not feel like you're living in a nonstop chaos all the time. A lot of people relocating from larger metro areas really appreciate that. And if you enjoy being outdoors, this area honestly gives you a ton of options year-round. Virginia Beach Oceanfront, First Landing State Park, the Elizabeth River Trail, Great Dismal Swamp, Chesapeake Waterways, historic Williamsburg nearby, day trips, weekend boating. The list goes on and on. There's just a lot more depth in this region than a lot of people expect before they get here. Now, is this New York City? Absolutely not. And honestly, for a lot of people, that's exactly the point. So, myth number 2, completely busted. Now, myth number 3, the traffic and the tunnels are a nightmare. All right, now this is one where I'm going to give you a very honest answer because unlike some of the other myths, this one exists for a reason. Yes, traffic can absolutely back up here, especially around bridges, tunnels, rush hours, holidays, accidents, summer tourism weekend. It's real. And if somebody tells you traffic is never an issue in Hampton Roads, they're not being honest with you. But what people don't fully understand is that commuting here is heavily dependent on geography and lifestyle strategy. This is not a place where you randomly pick a city without thinking about where you work. That matters a lot. And honestly, that's one of the biggest mistakes I see relocation buyers make. They focus entirely on house price, square footage, or neighborhood appearance without really understanding how the water shapes the region. Because Hampton Roads isn't laid out like a typical metro area. You've got harbors, rivers, bridges, tunnels, and waterways everywhere. That's part of what makes this place so beautiful, but it also affects commuting patterns. Now, the good news is people who understand the geography usually adapt very well. A lot of locals intentionally live on the same side of the water as their job. Remote work has also changed commuting patterns quite a bit. And the infrastructure improvements, especially with the HRBT expansion, have helped significantly compared to where things were several years ago. So is traffic perfect? No. But compared to truly major metro congestion like DC, Atlanta, LA, or Northern Jersey, it honestly not even in the same universe. And for most people, the trade-off of living near the water and having access to this lifestyle is worth it. So myth number 3, partially true, but usually exaggerated by people who don't fully understand how the region is laid out. Now, myth number 4, if you're not military, there are no good jobs here. Now, this is another myth that it really throws people off when they're researching relocation. And I understand why. Because the military presence here is so large that people assume the entire economy revolves around it. But the reality is much more nuanced than that. Yes, defense and military absolutely drive a major portion of the economy here. But what many people don't realize is how many industries exist because of that economic foundation. You've got shipbuilding, logistics, engineering, healthcare, education, aerospace, maritime industry, advanced manufacturing technology, government contracting, and port operations. The Port of Virginia is one of the most significant ports on the East Coast. Newport News Shipbuilding is one of the most important shipbuilding operations in the country. NASA Langley is here, major healthcare systems are here, university and research institutions are here, and one thing that surprises many relocation clients is how stable the economy tends to feel compared to some boom and bust markets. Now, is Hampton Roads the highest paying metro in America? Definitely not. And if somebody is looking for Silicon Valley level tech salaries, this probably isn't the market for them. But what many people find appealing is the combination of economic stability, cost of living, lifestyle, and long-term sustainability, especially for military transitions, federal careers, healthcare professionals, logistics, engineering, and skilled trades. There can be lots of opportunity here. So myth number 4, definitely oversimplified. And myth number 5, Hampton Roads is basically all the same. This might actually be the most important myth in the entire video because this is the one that affects people the most after they move here. A lot of people hear Hampton Roads and assume it's basically one giant city where every area feels similar. That could not be further from the truth. And honestly, this is where local knowledge becomes incredibly important because the lifestyle difference between cities here can be dramatic. Virginia Beach feels very different from Norfolk, and Norfolk feels very different from Chesapeake. Chesapeake feels very different from Suffolk, and Suffolk feels very different from Portsmouth or Hampton. Some areas are more urban, more suburban, more historic, more rural, more waterfront oriented, more community focused, more walkable, more spread out. And even within the city, the feel can change quickly depending on the area. That's something people relocating here often underestimate. For example, Virginia Beach can feel touristy or energetic near the ocean front, or quiet and residential further inland. Norfolk has more of the urban downtown arts and culture energy, and Chesapeake tends to attract buyers looking for more space and that suburban feel. Suffolk offers a lot of growth, land, newer development, and breathing room. Portsmouth has incredible historic character in certain areas. And every single one of those cities appeals to different types of buyers for different reasons. That's why I always tell people, don't just pick a house. Pick the lifestyle that fits you the best. Because in Hampton Roads, lifestyle fit matters enormously. And this is also why watching relocation videos online only gets you so far. You really need somebody to help you understand commute patterns, city personalities, daily lifestyle, future growth, pricing differences, and how all of these areas connect together, because there is no one size fits all answer here. And honestly, that's one of the things that makes Hampton Roads such an amazing place to live. So myth number 5, absolutely busted. So hopefully this gave you a much more realistic picture of what living in Hampton Roads is actually like. Not the exaggerated internet version, not the comment section version, the real live version. Is Hampton Roads perfect? Of course not. No place is. Every city, county, or area have their own sets of pros and cons. But what I can tell you after helping so many people relocate here is a lot of people move here expecting one thing and end up pleasantly surprised by what they actually find out. The affordability surprises them, the lifestyle surprises them, the variety surprises them, and honestly, the sense of balance here surprises them too. You can build a really good life in this region if you understand which areas fit your goals and lifestyle the best. And that's really the key. If you're thinking about moving to Hampton Roads, whether that's Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Suffolk, Portsmouth, Hampton, Newport News, or anywhere nearby, you want real guidance from someone who actually knows these areas deeply. I'd love to help. You can call me, text me, email me, or schedule a time to talk using the links in the description below. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe because I put out new videos every single week about what it's like living in Hampton Roads, relocating to the area, the local housing market, neighborhoods, commuting, and what life here is really like. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.